Mr. Painter, do you think Senator Gillibrand is a crook?
No, and I do not think all politicians are crooks. And
why did you call her a crook?
I did not call her a crook. Now, Ms. Senator, you need to
here's
focus
what
on
I'm
this
looking
bill.
right now.
You're doing this again. You did it the last
published a
hearing.
tweet that
You,
said-
yes, I do.
And then you said, the crypto industry is buying Congress and the White House. This won't end well. Why do you think the crypto industry is buying Senator Gillibrand?
I said, look at the campaign contributions from this industry.
Do you think they've bought her?
No, I said, look at the campaign
You said
contributions.
they bought her. Do you think they bought her?
Senator, you need to focus on this bill instead of trying to distort my Twitter.
You called one of my
you
colleagues
were quoting
a crook,
what a Marxist in Chicago said
and
about
what
me.
evidence do you
make
have
no
that she's
sense.
a crook?
I said there are...
Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. If you love freedom, the Constitution, and the American dream, you're in the right place. Today, we're reacting to the latest circus act out of Congress, the Senate hearing on digital assets, crypto regulation, and what can only be described as a full-blown meltdown between our so-called leaders and their expert witnesses. Let me tell you, if you weren't worried about Congress writing the rules for the future of the American economy before, you will be after this. So buckle up, patriots, because we're diving deep into what's really going on, why it matters for your freedom and your wallet, and what we need to do to keep the American spirit alive in the age of digital assets.
Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've listened with great interest today, and here's what I hear you saying. The four folks to my left, I hear you saying that digital assets are different. Digital assets hold great promise. Digital assets need special rules. I agree with that. The obvious question is, what should those rules be? And to what extent should we allow you to draft them? I've also heard some of you say that digital assets represent the next generation of the internet. Well, we let the current generation of the internet draft their own rules. And frankly, it looks like what we got as a result looks like somebody knocked over a urine sample. Congress can't even agree on basic legislation dealing with privacy on the internet. How the hell are we going to tackle this? But I hear what you're saying. I hear Mr. Painter, as usual, if you follow him on social media, you know, all politicians are crooks. Very helpful. I want to direct most of my questions to Professor Massad. Is that how you say your name?
Massad.
Mr. Massad. I'm really worried we're going to get this wrong. We don't know, we in Congress and our staffs don't know as much as the professionals in digital assets know. And I don't see how we can possibly catch up. Tell me more about your idea of having the SEC. Well, first, I don't want to run out of time here, but why is the digital assets industry so scared of being regulated by the SEC?
Well, I think we need to step back, Senator.
Briefly, please.
They don't want everything treated as a security because they don't want that entire framework to apply. But that's also because the SEC did fail to try to customize its rules to adapt for this technology, and it should do that. And you've got leadership at the agencies now who are working on those things.
You're suggesting that we turn to two of our agencies, one of which is the SEC, and say, you have expertise. Before we take a crack at a bill, you come up with a bill with rules, with regulations. Tell us how to do this. Because I hear you saying in some cases digital assets are commodities, in some cases they're securities.
Congress needs to fill the gap, which is if it's not a security, who's going to create a regulatory framework for it? So you do need to fill that. But these questions about exactly which is when is it a security, when is it not a security, how do we customize the rules, what should we do about DeFi, a lot of that should really be left to the agencies. You could establish some principles, but I wouldn't write detailed rules.
Have you looked, Professor, at Congressman Hill's legislation?
I have in detail.
What do you think?
I think it's got a lot of problems. I think it's 236 pages of regulatory arbitrage opportunities for creative lawyers, and I used to be one that did that kind of stuff.
Made a lot of money, did you?
I did, but
Mr. Painter, do you think Senator Gillibrand is a crook?
No, and I do not think all politicians are crooks. And
why did you call her a crook?
I did not call her a crook. Now, Ms. Senator, you need to
here's
focus
what I'm
on this
looking
bill.
right now.
You're doing this again. You did it the last
published a
hearing.
tweet that
You
said
need to
Senator
read the
Gillibrand's
bill.
role in stablecoin regulation, $217,000 in crypto donations. You tweeted that.
Yes, I
And
do.
then you said, the crypto industry is buying Congress and the White House. This won't end well. Why do you think the crypto industry is buying Senator Gillibrand?
I said, look at the campaign contributions from this industry.
Do you think they've bought her?
No, I said, look at the campaign
You said
contributions.
they bought her. Do you think they bought her?
Senator, you need to focus on this bill instead of trying to distort my Twitter.
you
Last
called
time,
one of my
you were
colleagues a
quoting
crook,
what a Marxist in
and-
Chicago said
And
about
what
me.
evidence do you
make
have
no
that she's
sense.
a crook?
I said there is massive amount of campaign contributions coming into this Congress from the crypto
Do
industry.
you want to apologize
You need,
to Senator Gillibrand?
I do not want you to have to apologize for passing
Do
legislation
you want to
that
apologize
destroys
to
our
Senator
economy.
Gillibrand for calling her
You
a
are
crook?
distorting what I said, just like you did in the last hearing. You're wasting everybody's time, Senator.
You're a whack job.
Senator,
You are a
wasting.
majorly
Well, I think we are.
next
I
level
think we.
whack job.
I think we
Is
are.
this middle school, Senator?
Senators and witness. Thank you both.
I
for
think
your
you should
part-
apologize, Senator.
I think,
Gillibrand.
Senator, you're wasting our time. This is not middle school.
Thank you for your participation.
First off, let's talk about Senator John Kennedy. Now, I've got a lot of respect for the man. He's plain-spoken, sharp, and he's not afraid to call out the nonsense. He started this hearing by admitting, hey, digital assets are different. They hold promise. They need special rules. And you know what? He's right. Crypto isn't just another stock or bond. It's innovation. It's American ingenuity. But here's where he hits the nail on the head. Who gets to write those rules? Because, folks, if you let the fox guard the hen house, you know what happens. Kennedy points out that we let the internet giants basically write their own rules. And now look at what we've got. A handful of big tech monopolies, censorship, and total chaos. His analogy is crude, but he's not wrong. Now, Kennedy voices a real concern. Congress and their staff don't have a clue about this technology. And you know what? That's not an insult. It's a fact. Our elected officials are, on average, older than dirt. These are people who need written instructions to check their email, and we're supposed to trust them to regulate the future of money? Give me a break. But here's the risk. If Congress admits they're out of their depth and just hands the keys over to unelected bureaucrats at the SEC or the CFTC, that's the deep state in action, folks. That's Washington insiders who never face a single voter, writing rules that will shape your financial future. Now, the so-called experts in this hearing, like Professor Massad, want to push everything into the hands of the SEC. And why is the crypto industry so scared of the SEC? Because the SEC treats every new thing like it's a security. That means suffocating regulations, endless paperwork, and, let's be honest, making it impossible for the little guy to get ahead. Let me spell it out. Regulation should protect Americans from fraud, not protect the old guard from competition. But every time the government gets involved, they end up protecting the establishment, shutting out innovation, and leaving American consumers with fewer choices. Then, when they bring up Congressman Hill's 236-page bill, Professor Massad dismisses it as regulatory arbitrage for lawyers. You know what that means? More loopholes for the rich and powerful. More red tape for the rest of us. That's the kind of attitude that got us into this mess in the first place. Government by, for, and about the lawyers and the lobbyists. And then, because of course it wouldn't be a day in Washington without a little mudslinging, we get Mr. Painter, the ethics expert, accusing Senator Gillibrand of being bought off by $27,000 in crypto donations. Now, I don't know about you, but I doubt $27,000 is enough to buy a senator. That's barely enough to buy a used Ford F-150 these days. But this is the real problem. Instead of having a substantive debate about how to keep America competitive and free, they're busy calling each other crooks and whack jobs on live TV. No wonder the American people have lost faith in these clowns. Let me tell you where I stand as a right-wing patriot. First, we need rules of the road for digital assets. But those rules need to be simple, clear, and pro-freedom. Not 236 pages of legalese that only the big banks and the big lawyers can understand. Second, Congress should not abdicate its responsibility to unelected agencies. If you want to make law in this country, you need to put your name on the line and answer to the voters. That's the American way. Third, stop using campaign contributions as an excuse to smear your opponents. We all know the real corruption in Washington is the revolving door between government and Wall Street. Not a few crypto donations from ordinary Americans who want to see this country move forward. Fourth, the tone in that hearing was a disgrace. Calling each other whack jobs and acting like middle schoolers. Folks, we need grown-ups in the room. We need leaders who will stand up for the Constitution, for free markets, and for the American spirit of innovation. So here's my message to Congress. Get educated. If you don't understand crypto, listen to the American entrepreneurs building the future, not the bureaucrats, not the lobbyists. Write laws in plain English. If a normal American can't read it and understand what's illegal and what isn't, throw it out and start over. Keep the power in the hands of the people. Don't hand over our future to unelected, unaccountable agencies. And to my fellow patriots, stay vigilant. Stay vocal. We cannot let the same people who broke the old system strangle the new one in its crib. The future of American freedom and your financial sovereignty depends on it. Like, subscribe, and share this video if you agree that it's time to put America first, protect innovation, and drain the swamp once and for all. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.